we are now privileged to welcome on a recurring guest, state championship winning head coach for Homewood Flossmoor, Mr. Jamere Dismukes. Jamere, how are you feeling?
I feel great. Season is about a week and a half away, so just getting mentally prepared and ready for what's hopefully another long run. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a long season. It's going to be a marathon, but we'll start with last season, which was obviously immensely successful for you guys. Went overall 34-4, finishing 7-1 conference, and you capped it off with a state title. Absolutely incredible. But what we want to focus on is that you guys lost a lot of key players since then, such as Johnny Cobb, who's graduated, gone to Columbia University, as well as Bryce Hurd, a guy who reclassed, unfortunately. Now he's gone to NC State. All credit to him. He's performing at the highest level right now. But with that being said, you guys are welcoming some new guys and some old returning guys that didn't see as much playing time from last year. They're going to be starting to take significant roles this season, such as Jaden Tyler and Brent Taylor. What kind of words can you say about them?
Um, Brent's a kid who transferred in from Lincoln Way East this year, so I think he'll be really good for us. He's got a lot to learn about how we do things, what we call the Viking way. But I think once he gets accustomed to what we do and how we do things, I think he's going to have a really big year. Jaden Tyler obviously returns. He's a 3-year varsity starter for us. He started varsity as a sophomore. He started last year as a junior, and now this will be his 3rd year. So we're expecting some really big things out of him. There's a kid who didn't play much last year, but I believe is going to have a really big season this year. 6'1" point guard, Ethan Howard. He's a senior, 2025. Um, so as soon as we step on the floor, I believe he's going to have a strong year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously some big shoes to fill. There's a lot of guys that left. Like we talked about Bryce Hurd, talked about
Mhm.
him reclassifying up. That's obviously seriously impressive. What was the deciding point for him to join the Cinderella team, NC State, and reclass up?
Um, I think they just presented a really good opportunity for him. When you talk about a kid who is a competitor and who wants to play at the highest levels, I think they presented a really good opportunity for him. Like I said, and I told him when the year 2025 hits, Bryce will be better coming from North Carolina State than he will be coming from HF. Yeah, we have great facilities and great people around, but we're talking about ACC basketball. So, he can't beat it. He's playing at the highest levels now and is going to have a chance to really be successful in his basketball career.
I mean, that's just a very wise answer. I'm sure you guys would be missing him entirely, but you understand and you recognize that he's going to succeed and thrive at a place such as NC State. And although you guys are going to miss him for sure in your program, that's definitely something that he'll succeed at. And another player is Matt Cagemaster, your big man center that you guys lost as well last year. He's moved on to go to Lewis University. What's going to be like without him and that big physical presence deep down at the five?
Ooh, I think that's going to be our biggest hole to fill this year. I don't think we're going to have a kid with that size, that build, who can kind of clog the middle how he did for us. I do think we'll be more athletic and more skilled this year than we were last year. But when you lose a kid like Mac, it's tough to replace not only his size, but his toughness and his heart. Mac was one of our glue guys and he played hard for us every day. So just again, trying to replace that is going to be tough, but also I think we're capable of it. I think we can do it. And again, it's the Viking way to play hard and compete and push yourself. So I look forward to our guys stepping up to the challenge and trying to fill that role.
Yeah, for sure. You talked about. I mean, this kid was like 6'10". He's got size on him, and he came to work every day. It's a big spot to fill. But with that, could you tell us about any like scheme changes coming towards this next season?
Defensively, we're going to play the same exact way. We don't change up what we do defensively. But offensively, we are going to switch it up because we don't have obviously the same players that we had last year. So we're going to run a little bit more of a Princeton style offense this year. Try to get some back cuts, try to get some flare screens, stagger screens, some drag screens, just some things that we haven't done in my 3 years here. But again, every year you have a different group of guys. So I try to tailor my offense around the guys that I have and not try to make the kids that we have fit our offense. So, but again, defensively, we'll stay the same. We'll pressure the ball. We'll play our style of basketball, which I think is fun and exciting for everybody to watch and be a part of.
Like you said, you're going to shift into a more shifty, athletic style offense, and you're going to try to adapt the methods that Princeton used in their program. Will Jaden Tyler, who's the 6-foot point guard, just received a D1 offer from Wofford after decommitting from Kent State, will he kind of operate in that role of Xavier Lee as the facilitator in this offense?
Um, Facilitator, scorer, um, floor general. I believe this is going to be a really big season for him. Him being a 3-year guy and kind of knows what I expect out of him. I'm just going to kind of let the game come to him. And if he decides to score, when he decides to score, we're all for it. If he decides to be that facilitator when it's time, we're all for it. We're going to trust him and we're going to kind of play through him this year because, again, he's our most experienced player, not only on the varsity level, but here at HF as well.
Yeah, right. You talked about the difference between this year's team and last year's team. There's a lot of new faces. But going into year 3, you said going into year 1 that it was the standard. Year 2 was the redemption, and this year was the brotherhood. Could you tell us what you mean by the brotherhood?
Um, it's a it's about a close knit group, right? We talk about doing things the right way every day. Knowing that it's going to be hard, but knowing that you have people in your corner to support you, not only the current team who's around you, but those who left. Those guys like Carson and a Mac and a Bryce, and even in our first year, a Vincent, a Jalil, or Caleb. Just that brotherhood. I think we need to uh, embrace that brotherhood to be as good as we want to be and that I believe we can be. But again, it's just about bringing back those alum who graduated, the Julian Wrights, the Kevin Dillards, just letting our guys see that there's support here and not just support, again, from your current teammates, but the people who laid the foundation before you. So we're just trying to really, embody what it is to be a close knit group and a brotherhood. So we're trying to do that on the court and off the court. And we believe that a close knit group like that, a brotherhood, translates to wins. And so we're just trying to bank on that and see if it works out for us.
And then speaking about this close knit group, a lot of these guys, class of 2025 in particular, are going to be coming up together. Can you speak about the bonds between these guys, such as Jaden Tyler, Brent Taylor, and then also Ryan Clemens, Kyle Polk, and Aiden D. Rose in this senior class and how they're kind of coming together?
You know what? What's kind of scary is that this group has started off a lot closer than last year's group did. And last year's group obviously made history here at HF. So it's kind of scary and exciting to see what this group can do. But in our open gyms, the ball swings, they love playing together. They communicate at a high level. And I just think it's because they've known each other for so long and kind of grew up throughout HF or the HF communities together. So I'm excited to just kind of see how it plays out. But definitely, I think that translates to wins and them being close. And also, it allows me to coach them harder because when I'm on top of them, they know that their brother who's next to them is still backing them and on their side and encouraging them. So I'm really excited to get going.
And then can we also speak a little bit on how the transfers have really impacted this squad, such as Brent Taylor, who's an uncommitted, one of the top uncommitted guards of the senior class going into this year. He transferred from Lincoln Way East. You also have other players such as Arden Groves transferring from Thorpe. Impact of the transfer been on your team and how you've kind of operated scheme-wise?
I think those two will be really good for us. Again, they still have to learn the Viking way and how we do things. But I do think those two will be really good for us. I'm excited they decided to move here in district. Kudos to their parents for making it happen for them. But I'm expecting some really good things out of those two. And there's another kid here who transferred in from California. He moved from California. His name is AJ Johnson. He's about a 6'4" junior that we're really high on as well, that we believe could be really good. So just trying to get the newcomers to come in and learn what we do and how we do it at the rate that we do it, and we just trying to build off that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, a lot of newcomers on this team. And now let's touch on some of these incoming class of 2028 or 29s, like Darius Hawkins. He's one of the top ranked eighth graders in the country. He's ranked 6th in the state. And we watched some film on this kid, and he dominated the MSH TV camp, dropping 61 points in a game, given the name the shiftiest guard in the nation. What's it like having such an upcoming prospect, and how has he been able to fit in with this such tight group that you talk about?
Kids like Darius don't fit in; they stand out, and that's kind of what I want from him. I don't want him to fit into anyone. I want him to be himself, and he as confident as he is, and I believe that's one of the best qualities about his game is his confidence. He believes that even when Bryce was here, he believes that he was the best player on the floor at all times, and I think that's what makes him a really good player. He's tough, he's quick, he's fearless, and he's skilled. So I think if we do this the right way, if we nurture this kid the right way, I believe he can have a Tyler Eulis type high school career and maybe go to his dream schools are Arkansas and Kentucky. I mean, Arkansas and Illinois. So maybe hopefully we can, get him to that level. We're not here. We had high profile players before, so we know how to handle high profile players and what comes with coaching a high profile kid. As long as they're great kids and great teammates, everything else is it's just kind of goes hand in hand.
Absolutely. I mean, development is going to be key for him. He's only a freshman, and we have all the trust in the world that a program and a coach like you can really mature this kid in the long run and turn him into a top prospect nationally. But another kid as well is John Brown the fourth. He's ranked 19th in the state, went to the same camp, the Pangos All Midwest camp, and performed extremely well at that. That's the same camp that I believe Kai Harvey went to and Darius Hawkins. And what's different about him is that he's a 6'6" power forward that's going to bring some build and some height to your team. And you're saying that he's projected to reach 6'10", which was the same height as Mac Hagemaster in his senior year last year. So down the road, do you think you see him filling that same role that he did?
Um, I love Mac. What this kid is different. He's different than Mac. I think he'll be more skilled offensively. I think he'll be more mobile. Um, Hopefully he reaches that 6'10" mark. If he does, then I think the sky is really the limit for his basketball career, not just high school or college, but I think there might be some professional potential there. I mean, the kid is right now 6'6". He can dribble the ball. He can shoot the ball. He can pass the ball. He still needs to get stronger. He's always pushed off balance a little bit, but I think strength comes with growth and maturity. He just turned 14. He doesn't turn 15 until the end of March. So this kid has a lot of time to kind of develop physically and mentally. So I'm excited for his future. And Kai Harvey, I believe, is going to be one of the best players in the state of Illinois in the class of 2028. A lot of people don't know him that well yet, but after watching him all summer, watching him all spring, I believe that he's really going to open a lot of eyes this year and for his high school career in the future.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Kai Harvey, we were literally just about to touch up on him. He's 150th ranked player in the state for his class, and I think it's great that you think he could be one of the top guys, and no doubt, I mean, we've seen some film on this kid. He's legit. He made the top 60 cream of the crop game at the Pangos camp. But obviously, all these youngsters bring a lot of future to the table. But how often will we see these three in varsity games this season? Will they be off the bench? Will they be starters?
Without giving away too much of your game plan.
Obviously, we don't want.
Sorry, rival school over here.
That's all going to depend on how practice goes, honestly. If they do what they need to do at practice, they'll play. If they beat out people, they'll play more. We don't care about what grade you are, how old you are. We care about being a good teammate. We care about giving maximum effort, being coachable, and production. So age doesn't matter to us.
And then Darius Hawkins, he has all the technical tools in the world. He has everything he needs to be at the highest level, with only the soft spot being maybe his 5'10" height. How have you been treating him this offseason, getting him used to bigger competition that he'll see in the fall?
Honestly, just being tough on him, overly tough. In 8th grade, things came a little easy for him, but jumping 3 levels from freshman to sophomore to varsity and as a 15-year-old, that's tough to do. So just being tough on him every day to let him know that the games are going to be tough. The opponents will play, they'll be tough. And sometimes he won't get some of the calls from the referees that he's used to getting because he's so young. So again, I think his future is very bright, but it's on me to kind of hone those skills and get him to where he needs to be, not just athletically or physically, but mentally as well. And I think he's definitely on the right track.
Yeah, for sure. And now we're gonna head into some of the big headlines going into this season. HF, you guys switched your conference to the Southwest Suburban Red Conference. It kind of seems like these Southwest Suburban conferences kind of just combined in a way. But you still do have some big name teams on your schedule, like Andrew. You guys beat them out by 2 points last year, 71-69, in a very close game. And then obviously a team to look at is Bradley Bourbonnais, which is a team that took one from you guys last year, 65-61. Is there a different way you're going to treat that Bradley Bourbonnais game, knowing that they really stole one off your schedule?
Nah. Is that game on our schedule? On mine? Yeah, it is. But we're gonna play our style of basketball. No matter what that is, or no matter who we play, we're gonna just play our style. I think that was a good game down there. I mean, it's always tough to play down there at Bradley. This year they have to come up to us, which I'm excited about. My first 2 years, we went down there back-to-back years. So this will be the first year in 3 years that they've come to us. So I'm excited about playing them here and just seeing where the chips may fall. But we won't do anything differently. We'll strategize. I mean, we'll scheme a little bit to go with their team and their personnel to kind of offset who they have. But we're just going to play HF basketball like always.
And then I'm sure for Brent Taylor, another big game for him is going to be when you guys play Lincoln Way East. Actually, that might not be on the schedule. I'm looking at Lincoln Way Central and West. They'll be joining the new conference. But overall, across the board, it's going to be a way bigger conference this year. You guys have 15 conference games this year compared to last season where it was only 5 teams overall in the conference. This year it's 9. So overall, are you satisfied with this high volume of conference opponents you guys have in your schedule? Or do you wish there were less games to allow for more wiggle room in the schedule to play more non-conference games against some other quality teams you could see come playoffs?
You're a smart young man. Yeah, I'm kind of 50-50. I believe we actually have 16 conference games. So I believe 16 conference games are a lot because in IHSA basketball, you only get 31 games before the playoffs. So you talk about 16 in conference, 4 in the 4 in Chicago Heights Classic, plus another 4 in the Big Dipper. That's 24 right there. Plus our MLK, that's 25. So it doesn't leave a lot of wiggle room to play in big time events. I mean, Chicago Elite Classic is 26. Team Road Shootout is 27. Uh, Win Size Collide is 28. Now you're talking about only 3 games that we can play outside of all of that. Last year we were able to kind of bounce around and play in some big events because the conference wasn't so big as far as the day-to-day scheduling. So um, I'm kind of 50-50 on the new conference alignment. If you know me, you know I like to challenge my guys and put them in the toughest games as possible. That way, when it's down to the wire and when you're trying to get downstate, you're kind of comfortable with who you are and who you played against. So uh, I don't want to say anything bad about it, but I do wish that we had a little less games, maybe 12 to kind of still do some other things out there for 4 other games. But I mean, it is what it is. You control what you can control, and that's something that's out of our control. So we're just gonna try to be as best prepared for it as possible.
Absolutely. I mean, it does seem redundant to have to play every single team twice this year when there are just so many teams. They should be giving you a break and have you only play maybe just some of the teams only once, so you can allow to play teams more in the Chicagoland area, which are definitely some of the teams that are known to have harder competition. But one of the more notable effects of the conference switch is the eviction of Bolingbrook, who we know is going to be another state contender this year with the likes of Davion Thompson, who you've had the privilege of coaching at Mean Streets. What's it like? Do you wish you guys had the opportunity to play them this year? Because we know you did last year.
Uh, yeah, I kind of want to play all the best teams in the state. I'm a competitor. I believe in order to be the best, you have to beat the best. I think Bolingbrook is going to be a top 5 team in the state of Illinois preseason to start off. I think they'll maintain a top 5 to 10 ranking throughout the entire season. So it sucks that we won't be able to play them this year in conference. That's always been a conference rival. Those games are packed. They're always high energy and high competitiveness and just fun to coach. So um, it's gonna suck not playing those guys this year. But again, you control what you control, and you get prepared for each game that you have on your schedule, and that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, for sure. And you talked about it, the MLK Invitational coming up January 18th through 20th. Obviously, being a coach itself is a lot of hard work, and then putting this whole invitational together is even more work. And you have put together some really impressive teams in this invitational, like Bastion High School from St. Louis, who have won the past 5 state titles in St. Louis, or Missouri, excuse me, and Chaminade College Prep, a Missouri powerhouse that has produced players like Jason Tatum and Bradley Beal, and then other top programs in the Chicagoland area like Kenwood, who's always a powerhouse to reckon with, St. Lawrence, Bennett, Thornton, Curie, Hillcrest, Joliet West, etc. What is the significance to you of HF hosting this tournament with such powerhouse basketball teams?
Honestly, when we got this thing started, what I just tried to do was bring some of the best basketball to the South suburban area. I thought that was my main focus, being sure that those loyal Illinois basketball fans or just high school basketball fans in general around the area got a chance to see some really high level basketball. I mean, when you think about it, you have to go inside the city of Chicago or sometimes out of state to get these type of teams and watch these type of games. But um, you can have them in your own backyard. I think that makes it a lot easier to get to the games, obviously, but I think it makes it better because you see these type of high level profile teams, coaches, and schools inside of your own community. And I think that's huge, actually. And I believe it's probably going to be one of our staples of HF basketball in the future. Just that we host such a high level tournament. It puts us on a map. I mean, Rich Township has the Big Dipper. Pontiac has their Christmas tournament. Hinsdale Central have their Christmas tournament. Um, Whitney Young and Simeon have the Chicago Elite Classic. DePaul Prep has Steve Pappas. Um, Bennett has Win Sides Collide. So all those are staples throughout the season that, people want to attend those games, but high schools actually want to participate in those games. So I just believe that the MLK can be our staple because you don't see a lot of MLK tournaments around the state during that weekend. But if you do, a lot of times they aren't as high level teams that we have in ours. So um, we're able to build those group of teams just through relationships over the course of my career and over the course of some of my assistants' careers. And we were able to put together what I think is probably the second best field of teams in the state of Illinois this year.
Do you have any goal or idea of any specific programs you want to attract for next season? Any prep schools or anything like that in particular?
Yeah, definitely want to get some prep schools involved. Don Bosco already told us they'll play Victory Rock Prep in Bradenton, Florida. They're going to come up and they'll play. So we want to get maybe about one or two more prep schools to kind of play some games. We're in talks with Link Year. We're in talks with La Lumiere just to kind of see if we can figure out the scheduling aspect of it. But we want to make this thing as big as possible. And one thing we added this year as well were two girls games that I think are really elite because you got Kenwood, you have Rich Township, you have Bolingbrook, and you have HF girls. So I think all four of those will be top 15 to 20 girls teams in the state. So again, just trying to get as many fans out as possible to watch some really good high school basketball is our goal.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely rewarding to come from an area that's known nationwide to put such an emphasis on high school basketball. So much so that you got programs coming from all over the country, like you just mentioned, as well as for the Chicago League Classic at UIC. They have Duncanville and Mater Dei coming out, as well as Chaminade College Prep from Missouri once again. Just top programs nationwide that are coming to play basketball in the Chicagoland area, which many people believe is the birthplace of high school basketball. It's insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I know you said this earlier, but you talk about treating every game just like the same game for HF, and we also talked about how you want to play the best competition this year. And one of your stronger games on the schedule comes in the When Sides Collide invite at Bennett when you verse the reigning 3A state championships, DePaul College Prep. DePaul is they were a great team last year, and they seem to just be getting better, getting big transfer in Junior Raikan Wu from Whitney Young, who has been one of the shiftiest players I've seen. I got the pleasure of seeing him play here at RB. I know you said this earlier, but you also said, contradicting it, that you want to play these bigger games. Is there a different mindset going into the bigger games?
No, but just being a competitor, I want to compete. TK, Coach Tom Kleinschmidt, he does a great job at DePaul Prep. I think he's one of the better, if not the best coach in the state of Illinois, if I'm being honest. So just being able to compete with him and get on the floor with him and hopefully come out with a victory, that means a lot to me. We don't try to prepare any harder or focus any harder. We want our preparation to always be there. We want our focus to always be there. But I think the kids do bring a different level of effort and energy when you're playing in those big games, the more meaningful games that will probably have a lot to do with where you are ranked the following week. And I think DePaul Prep might be the number one team in the state to start off. I think we should be a top 12 to 15 team in the state to start off. So I'm excited to get out there and play against those guys. Again, I love TK. I think he does a great job, and I'm excited to compete against him.
I mean, yeah, and as a coach, I mean, it's absolutely necessary to have the mentality that every game is just as important as the next, and you have to prepare as such. But in the mindset of the players, is there any game in particular that they have circled on the calendar, maybe any tournament? I mean, looking back at the Chicago League Classic last year, we know that you guys lost to Gonzaga from D.C. Is that one that they want to maybe get back at this year?
Yeah, maybe, but we aren't playing Gonzaga, so I don't know if it'll I don't know if it means that much. But I know they really want to repeat as Big Dipper champs, which is going to be a tough task this year. Rich Township will be really good. Thornton will be good. Hillcrest will be good. Will be pretty good. Thornwood. So I know that's something that's circled on their schedule, repeating as two-time Big Dipper champs. So um, other than that, yeah, we wanna have a better performance in the Chicago Elite Classic. I mean, last year we lost by 30, so um, yeah, I'm excited for definitely excited for the Big Dipper.
Yeah, something that kind of connects to brotherhood is getting a whole team to go out to Los Angeles, California. You are scheduled to play at Cal State Northridge University, which is in Los Angeles, on December 20th. Can you talk about this some more? How were you able to schedule a game like this?
Again, just relationships I've built over the course of the last 12 years. And I think having success last year, when you win, everybody wants you to be a part of what they're doing. So I think those relationships I've built, and then just having success last year is what will allow us to go out here. But for me, it's just allowing the kids to experience something different, not the same tournaments in the same areas in the same gyms, playing against the same competition. So I just wanted them to be able to experience something. There's nothing like being on the beach in the middle of the winter. So we'll see how that works for us.
And speaking on the relationships you've built, you've acquired these because you're well known to be the 16U head coach for arguably one of the better AAU and EYBL programs in the entire country in Chicago Mean Streets. Can you talk a little more about what's that job like? How did you get that? And what's it like to be a pivotal part of such an important program?
I just want to help out that program as much as possible. Ty Streets and I are really close. People don't know that because when we compete, we kind of go at each other, but he and I are really close. We talk all the time. I just want to help him get that program back to where it was and ascend the heights that it was before. Um, you know, he offered me the job last summer, and I accepted, obviously, because like you said, it's one of the best programs, AAU programs in the country, with a lot of respect behind his name. So I'm just trying to continue to carry the torch, and hopefully I can, be a part of continuing the success of that program.
Yeah, I mean, clearly this program is prestigious with the guys that you were able to coach with at the Peach Jam last year. Guys like Nojas Ingestritis, I'm probably saying that wrong, KJ Wyndham, Carlos Harris, RB alum William Gonzalez, we got to throw him in there, Morris Johnson, Jaden Tyler, and Deshaun Stevenson. Can you tell us what it's like coaching just such great
D1 caliber
D1
players,
caliber players? Yeah.
Yeah, that's high level. Those are high level guys. So it's fun. It's fun that when you can coach kids with that much athleticism, that much skill, that much passion for the game, it's fun. It makes coaching a little easier. But again, at that level, you're playing against the best players in the country. You'll see the number one, number two, number three player in the country every day. So it's exciting. Again, I'm a competitor, so even in those games, I expect to win. I think think winning solves a lot of issues. But you have to be prepared to win, though. You have to put in the work to win. So, and those kids did. It was definitely fun being around those guys, and I'm excited to watch their futures here as freshmen at Iowa State, Illinois, Northwestern, Cleveland State, UIC, Bethune-Cookman. Those are all the kids you just named. So those are the schools that they're playing at this upcoming year. So just excited to follow their career and hopefully continue to be a part of their journey.
And then this has been great so far, but we just want to get one last question before we know you have to leave. Moving forward, the talent does not stop because you have Jackson Davis in the ranks, Davion Thompson, who's coming up, that you're coaching, and recently 2026 shooting guard Danny Houlihan, who just committed to High Point University recently, or maybe just received a D1 offer. But nonetheless, what's it like moving forward, coaching some of these players that you believe are going to make it big time coming up?
I'm excited. Like I said, I'm just excited to be a part of their journey, and hopefully when they do make it big time, they always will remember Coach JD, remember something I taught them, remember something I showed them. I'm just excited to be a part of their continual growth, and I'm excited for the trajectory of the Main Streets program as well, because when you have players like that, you bring in more coaches, you bring in more eyes, you're just continue and more players. So you just continue to grow the program. So I'm excited to see where it is, where it's going. I'm just excited to be a part of it.
Well, thank you so much. This has been great, and we wish you all the best going forward. Hopefully, we'll see you in the playoffs again. We hope that you make a run, maybe even win another ring possibly. Just please take it easy on RB if you see him in the playoffs at any point, because we know how talented you guys are, and we do not want to see you guys in the way. So,
No doubt. I appreciate you guys. I definitely appreciate you. Appreciate you too, Mr. Holdren. You guys are great. RB should be excited to have you. Coach Mike is one of my guys, so I'm excited for his season this year. And anytime I can ever be a part of helping you guys, just let me know.
of course,
Thank you so much,
and best of luck in the season.
Y'all have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. You too.